I'm just here to tell you that superheroes do good. You guys are probably just doing well, all right? Here's your grammar lesson of the day, thanks to my mother. Welcome to the National Zoo. My name is Jake. We're so excited to have you here for our Destination Wild Animal Show. Now, there are animals all over the world with amazing traits, and a lot of us would probably love to go see all of these animals out there in the wild in their natural habitat. Unfortunately, few of us have that luxury. So here at the zoo, we bring the wild to you. Are you guys ready? Okay, we're going to start with some really exotic stuff. What? Iris! Iris made it out here. What are you doing here? She's our cleanup crew here. She's just making sure that none of the things that my lazy coworkers have been eating on stage stay out here for too long. Is that a peanut that you've got there, Iris? Good for you. Well, it's kind of fortunate that she's here today so we can talk about the amazing things that skunks do for us here in Tennessee. This is one of the animals that eats so many little insects, so many bugs that sting us, that bite us, that spread disease. They're so good to have around, these skunks. Ticks, especially. If you guys don't have Lyme disease, consider yourselves really lucky. Lyme disease is a pretty nasty disease, and these skunks will just eat up all those ticks that spread that disease. So they're really great to have around for that. These are true omnivores, so they eat fruits, vegetables, meat, pretty much anything they can get their mouths on, they will eat, which is a really great adaptation because it helps them survive in pretty much any kind of environment they find. Now, the striped skunk, of course, is known for spraying, right? You guys in the front row, just be quiet, you'll be fine, no worries. The cool thing is these guys can spray 10 to 12 feet away. So you guys are all in danger too, right? Not to worry, Iris is actually 10 years old. She's been here as our cleanup crew for that whole time. We're gonna run on out of here, Iris. We're not worried about any people. We're not afraid of anything. We're just gonna mosey on out. Go on, Iris. Shoo, shoo. All right. They move so fast, guys. You can it's just, wow. There she goes. All right, let's give it up for Iris, our beautiful striped skunk. We really love her. Now, animals right here in our own backyard might seem really common to you and I, but if you think about it, they are so important to have out there. The skunks provide really great ecosystem services. This next guy, Fester, he actually provides some amazing services himself. He is called a turkey vulture, and these guys are another part of nature's garbage crew. Amazing. There you go, Fester. Now, turkey vultures and black vultures make up our two species of vultures that we have here in Tennessee. Are you going to eat peanut? Pretty sure you don't like peanut, but let's move back over this way. There you go. Get your Karina. There you go. Now, the turkey vultures and the black vultures both eat carrion, so dead things that they find in fields and all over. And they use that nice long hooked beak to grab onto that dead thing that they're trying to eat, rip it into little pieces, and then swallow it. Pretty amazing. If you're looking closely right there on his face, you see some nice large nostrils. This is actually one of the few species of birds that actually has a sense of smell, and that aids them in finding their food. A lot of people see vultures when they're circling way high in the sky, and they think oh, there's something dead underneath them, and that's why they're circling there. That's really an old myth. If you think about it logically, if you're hungry and you're looking for food, and you find food, are you just going to be circling near it, pointing at it and doing, there's the food, guys? You're going to be on the food, right? That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to tell everybody else where there's food. I'm going to go to the food. And so that's what these guys do. When they're circling around in the air, they're floating on what's called a thermal. It's a warm updraft of air that's keeping them high in the sky without using too much energy. It's a really great adaptation and a really smart way to live. Let's say goodbye to Fester, our beautiful turkey vulture. Thank you, guys. So those amazing birds, they actually migrate each year all the way down to South America and back, which is a pretty amazing feat. And they'll use those thermals all the way down as they go, taking their time so they're not using too much energy. And while they're down in South America, they might come across this special guy, which is really a crowd favorite. His name is Salsa, and Salsa is a Chilean rose-haired tarantula. I know.
Okay.
Oh, so cute and cuddly, right? Now, the tarantulas are another one of those amazing animals that provides great ecosystem services. They'll eat all kinds of insects, crickets, mosquitoes, all kinds of things that spread disease, take over our crops, stuff like that. So they're really great to have out there. Of course, the tarantula is marked by those signature beautiful 8 legs. And the rose-haired tarantula is really special because they're covered in these rose-colored hairs. All of those hairs have a little bit of toxin in them. And they can flip those hairs out at unsuspecting predators. So something like a coati or a raccoon out in the wild might come across a tarantula and be like, oh, that kind of looks yummy, it's moving in an interesting way, maybe I'll eat that. Because that's how everything chooses their food. It's like, oh, cool, okay, I'll eat it. And they'll flip these hairs out at whatever predator's coming after them. They'll get stuck in their eyes, in their nose, it burns, it's like, no, don't love that, not gonna eat that anymore. Think about it if your watermelon fought back at you and like shot seeds in your face, like you'd be like, maybe not. A pretty great adaptation for these spiders. Now, along with a lot of other kinds of insects, these guys have an exoskeleton. So their hard parts of their body are actually on the outside. So that's why, like when you squish a roach, you makes that crunchy noise. That's the exoskeleton that you're crunching. Really great for these guys though, because they can survive a small fall with no trouble at all. It doesn't actually hurt them because they have that nice, strong, fluffy armor all over them. Let's give it up for Salsa, our beautiful tarantula. I know it's not one that most people love, but these animals are so important, even if we don't really like them, right? Now we're gonna move on to a very special friend of mine who most people actually really do love. His name is Charlie. He's gonna be coming out here, and this is one that you could find right down there near all of the other tarantulas and other animals in the South American rainforest. And I'm gonna give you some hints as to what Charlie is so you can see if you can guess what he is, okay? So he has a long tail. He stinks real bad, really big nose, and really big spikes. Anybody guess? It's a porcupine, yeah. So Charlie is a beautiful prehensile-tailed porcupine that you can find down in Central and South America, all the way down there in the rainforest. Now the porcupines are marked by all of those beautiful quills all over their backs. Those are actually all modified hairs. So another one of those myths that's out there is that the porcupines can shoot their quills at predators. How many of you guys can turn around and shoot your hair at somebody? Anybody? Nobody. Okay, well, unfortunately, nobody can do that, neither can Charlie. That doesn't mean that he's not without a great defense. What these guys will actually do is back right into their prey. I've actually known porcupines that would fall straight down onto their predators. Not fun for those predators. All those quills are barbed at the end, so they go in really easily, and then they don't come out. It's like sticking yourself with a fish hook. It's not fun, not pleasant at all. But that nice long tail, nice and strong prehensile tail helps them rip branches and climb around up there in the canopy of the rainforest. And I mentioned that he smells pretty bad. These guys use their sense of smell to communicate primarily. So they pee on everything, they musk on everything, they poop on everything. That's how they say, hey, this is mine, or hey, don't come over here. I know it's really pleasant, isn't it? Yeah, it's actually, a lot of kids do that too, believe it or not, and they just don't even know it. But the beautiful porcupines are great to have out there in the wild. They're actually really great fertilizers, because they're pooping all over, and they actually spread a lot of seeds and nuts as well, because they're messy eaters, they're getting it all over, spreading different seeds and helping new plants to grow. We'll have a little shake maybe. I'm just gonna look around, that's all right. We'll give it up for Charlie, our beautiful porcupine. Thank you guys. Bye, Charlie. So handsome. One of those cute, cuddly guys. Now, moving on to my favorite continent, the continent of Africa, we're going to travel over to Eastern Africa to talk about Jane here. And Jane is called a silvery-cheeked hornbill. Now, hornbills are found all throughout Africa and Asia, but this particular species is found in the montane regions of Eastern Africa. And they're looking for habitat in old-growth forests. And what that means is they're looking for really, really tall, old trees that can sustain a really large cavity or hole in them, which is what these guys use as a nest. Which is a pretty cool place to have your chicks raise your young. What these guys will actually do is find a nice big hole, they might hollow it out some more. The mom will go in there, she'll start bedding it down. The dad will actually move around and start finding clay, finding mud, and the parents will work together to seal up the front of the hole. And so mom will lay the eggs, the dad will bring her food. That process lasts up to 4 months. So if you guys want to do the hornbill challenge at home, what you can do is grab your children, grab your loved ones, go into a small closet in the dark, and then try to stay there as long as you can. See how well that'll go. Does anybody want to take the Hornbill Challenge? No? Okay. Yeah, you want to do it? I bet the parents would love that. I really do. I think they would be overjoyed. Now these guys are amazing, amazing predators. They're going to take down huge things like insects and fruit and vegetables. Another omnivore here, but a really special way that they hunt is by grabbing things, while they're hanging out and things are just flying by. So if anybody wants to help, I have some really juicy bugs that we're going to try tossing to Jane and seeing if she can show off her catching ability. Does anybody want to try? How about you in the green shirt up there? Make your way on down here for me, and you can do it right here, okay? Come on down. Guys, I'm going to have you just jump right over that, okay? Beautiful, amazing. All right, you got this? Wow, that was a good one. Proud of you guys. What's your name? Anna? Nicholas. Welcome, Anna and Nicholas. Give everybody a wave. Look at your audience. There you go. Yeah, all right. So I don't have, juicy bugs for you guys today. We're just going to do grapes because that's a little less messy, okay? So I'm going to give you each a grape, and then I'm going to demonstrate how we're going to do this for Jane today, okay? She's a pretty good catch, but we want to make it nice and easy for her. So you're just going to take it, do a nice toss right up to her beak, okay? Nicholas, why don't you try first? 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Nice throw, nice catch. All right, Anna, your turn. There you go. Good job. Nice throws, guys. Give everybody a wave. Thanks so much for helping out today. Nice catch, Jane. We'll say goodbye to Jane, our beautiful silver chief, Hornbill. All right, so we're going to stay in Africa for this next guy. Remember, we're traveling around the globe to find all these amazing creatures. This guy's name is Bailey. I know. Bailey is a crowd pleaser. Now Bailey, I know we're all probably thinking like cheetah, leopard, like lion, tiger, bear, like oh my gosh, what is he? This guy is called, are we ready for it? A serval. Nice job, guys. So this is an African serval. He's full grown. He's about 18 years old, so he's not going to get any bigger than this. For reference, cheetahs grow to be about 5 times this size. So everybody comes here and is like, wow, he's a baby cheetah. And we're like, not quite. He's just a nice serval. He's going to enjoy his mouth right up here. Thanks, Karina, for that. Now, Bailey, along with all the other servals, are the most successful exotic cat hunters in the world. These guys catch their prey about 50% of the time. And that might not seem like really cool to you guys because typically when humans go out to find food, we're successful 100% of the time. But with the cats and all the other animals that hunt, it takes quite a bit of energy. So they don't always get food. Luckily, these cats take after all kinds of prey, from birds, straight in the sky, fish in the water, small mammals underground, and whatever Karina decides to hand to Bailey as well. Bailey, in his older age, he's getting really used to waiting us out. He'll be like, I don't really need that treat because I know you love me so much, you're just going to hand it to me in a minute, right? He knows how to play the game. Good for him. We're going to do another jump. As you're looking at him, look really closely at that tiny tail. I like to call these guys the Frankenstein cats because they have that tiny tail with really long legs that they'll use to reach into rabbit or mole or mouse or any kind of hole that they can find, with nice giant ears right there on the back of his head that help locate different kinds of prey, the long neck, and of course those beautiful whiskers right on the front of his face that help sense around when it's nighttime, because these guys do sometimes hunt in the dark. All right, Bailey, you want to take your handsome self off stage? It's like, you just gotta show off for everybody else real quick. Now, I mentioned that these guys will hunt birds. One of their amazing feats is they can jump about 10 feet straight into the air, clap down on a bird and drag it straight to the ground. And Bailey in his younger years used to do that. But if you have an opportunity to look it up on YouTube or online, you can find servals hunting for birds, and it's pretty spectacular. Nowadays, Bailey just takes those mice that we throw right on the ground. All right, let's give a nice quiet round of applause for Bailey, our beautiful serval. Thank you, guys. So we've traveled